What's up everyone? Welcome back to my channel. Today is my TBR for the Backlist Readathon, which is a readathon that I am hosting with Bree from Falling for Romance and also Allie from Mrs. Dunn Reads. And I'll have the announcement video down below in case you missed it. You know, I talk about hosts, I talk about challenges, prompts, all that kind of stuff. But today I just wanted to talk about my TBR, and I also wanted to show you guys how to add books to the StoryGraph reading challenge that we have created for the Backlist Readathon, because it's really easy. You can do it on your phone, you can do it on your computer. I'll show you how to do it, and it's really cool because you can keep track of what books you think you want to read for each prompt. But once you read a book for a prompt and you want to like mark it off as like, yep, I completed it, you can do that as well within your review. So let's go ahead and get started with my TBR, and then I'll show you guys how to add the books to the StoryGraph. Okay, first off, prompt number 1 is to read a backlist title that was published before 2017. And for that, I'm going to be reading Replay by Ken Grimwood. And this book actually was recommended to me by some of my friends because of me really liking that like alternate timeline slash, you know, I don't know, like memory, all of that type of stuff like mixed into one. This is a time travel book about this guy that I think relives his life over and over again. So like think the Groundhog Day. This says that he was trapped in a really bad marriage, a dead-end job. He dies in 1988 and wakes up to find himself in 1963 at the age of 18, but he like knows all of his mistakes. So he gets to go through life again, knowing all of his mistakes. And the one thing he doesn't know is why has he been chosen to replay his life? How many times must he win and lose everything he loves? So I'm really excited about this because it just reminds me a lot of the books that I usually really like and rate very highly. And I did get the audiobook off of Libby, so I'm very excited because I will be working like the whole entire week of the Backlist Readathon, but I wanted to read like 5 of the prompts. Like I really wanted to do that. So I think I'll be able to read all 5 books that I'm gonna tell you guys about because I have audiobooks for all of them except one. So I'm really gonna try hard to like just listen like constantly, and I'm really trying to do daily vlogs for you guys as well. So really excited for this. I really hope that the audiobook is great, and I cannot wait to read this one. Okay, the next book that I have to talk about, I just have the audiobook on Libby. I don't own a physical copy of this, but this is Out of My Mind, and this is for the Read a Backlist middle grade title. So I've only actually read one middle grade book in my life, and I read Wonder, and so this one I think that I'm also going to really like because I loved Wonder. It was 5 stars and the movie is fantastic. This is about a girl with cerebral palsy, I think I said that right, and so she cannot walk or talk, but she has a photographic memory. So she's extremely smart, she remembers everything, and it's talking about how like most people think that she isn't very smart and doesn't think that she like knows anything because of the fact that she can't talk or walk, but this is going to be talking about like actually how she is like a genius. And so I'm really excited to like read this book and kind of like get more of an outlook on this and learn more about it. And so this is only going to be my 2nd middle grade. Hopefully I really enjoy it. Hello, Editing Jackie popping in to say that if you don't have any middle grade recommendations, we actually had Allie from Mrs. Dunn Reads on our Talk Bookish to Me podcast episode that just came up today. That episode is all middle grade recommendations, so I will link it down below for you guys if you're still struggling to find a middle grade prompt. That's where I got my middle grade prompt from, was from Allie, and one of her recommendations, I literally have like a list of like 10 middle grade recommendations now that I want to get to, and that episode is a great one. There are tons of recommendations. I think we talk about at least 34 books, so you can go check that out and find one for the Backlist Readathon. And hopefully I can also just like kind of fly through it. It is on audiobook, so with it being like middle grade, I should be able to probably finish it in a day, I would think, because I think middle grades are shorter than normal. I'm not sure. I actually don't know much about this topic. Now for prompt number 3, this is to read a backlist that is one of your favorite genres. My favorite genres are normally like thriller, emotional romances. I do really like cult memoirs, but I've been trying to just grab things off of my actual bookshelf for this readathon. I didn't want to like go out and, you know, find a bunch of books. I wanted to kind of read off my shelf. So I'm picking His and Hers by Alice Feeney. This is a book that came out last year, so this is a 2020 release, but thankfully not a 2021 release, so it can be, you know, pushed in here. But I really do love Alice Feeney. I've read her other 2 books and really liked them, and this is the thriller genre, which is one of my favorites. I technically don't know much about this. I'm gonna be listening to the audiobook. Everyone says the audiobook is really, really good, and so that's perfect because I need the audiobook to get through these books. But this just says there are 2 sides to every story, yours and mine, ours and theirs, his and hers, which means someone is always lying. I do know that people said that the audiobook's really good because I guess there's a person that you don't know who it is in this book, and they like conceal the voice really well, so you're kind of like, you're still shocked when you find out who it is. So I'm really excited for that. Okay, prompt number 4 is to read an Own Voices backlist, and I'm picking The Only Good Indians by Stephen Graham Jones. This is actually a horror novel. Like, from the research that I've done, because I've had this on my shelf, but this is a horror novel and it was published in 2020, so this does fall in our backlist. And it just says, a tale of revenge, cultural identity, and the cost of breaking from tradition in this latest novel. So I'm actually not super, like, I really don't know much about it. I did go on to like the StoryGraph and stuff and read a couple reviews to kind of like get a feel for it, but I've heard people didn't like, I guess there is some animal abuse in here because I think it's going back like in time. There might be like sacrifices maybe, but this is Own Voices because this is written by, I think he's American Indian, and it's about 4 American Indian men. So it's gonna like talk about their lives, I think, their childhood maybe. So I am excited about this. I really just don't know much about it, and I'm hoping that I understand like the story and stuff and get into, I don't know, I don't really like historical fiction, so I'm kind of actually a little scared about it, but I wanted to read that one. Okay, last but not least, this is for prompt number 5 because I actually don't own, well, I do have 2 book of the month books for prompt number 6, but they actually were published this year and I had like swapped for them. I don't actually have a book of the month membership, so I'm not going to do prompt number 6. But for prompt number 5, this is a book that was like recommended by a book influencer. It could be someone from BookTube, Bookstagram, and I had actually added this book a while ago like to my wish list, and I was gifted it for my birthday last year, but I had heard about it from Gabby over at Gabby Reads. And so this is Modern Love, and this is actually not like, it's written by a bunch of different people. I think New York Times had like all of these stories over the years of different types of love, like how people found love, and so this is all edited together by Daniel Jones. But yeah, it says the best of the New York Times Modern Love column. So this is, I guess, I don't know if you would technically call this an anthology or not, but it says these are just a few of the people who tell their stories in Modern Love, an unforgettable collection featuring dozens of the most memorable essays to run in the New York Times Modern Love column since its debut in 2004. Some of the stories are unconventional while others hit close to home. Some reveal the ways technology has changed dating forever. Others explore the timeless struggles experienced by anyone who has ever searched for love. All are, above everything else, honest. Together they tell the larger story of how relationships begin, often fail, and when we're lucky, endure. So I'm really excited because it says at the top, it's like, a young woman goes through the 5 stages of ghosting grief. A man's promising 4th date ends in the emergency room. A lawyer with bipolar disorder experiences the highs and lows of dating. A widower hesitates about introducing his children to his new girlfriend. So I really like, I don't know, I like the concept of this. I think I'm going to really love this. This is the only book that I actually don't have the audiobook for, but I think it'll be okay me just getting through it because I'll probably do like a couple stories each day. I'm not too worried about like reading this because this is like 284 pages, and if I break it up in stories, then it won't feel like I'm trying to read a physical book like during all of this other stuff that's happening. Okay, so that is all the books that I am going to read, but I wanted to show you guys how to add the books to the StoryGraph. So I do have a video talking all about the StoryGraph and why I switched over to it, you know, from using Goodreads. I do love how the StoryGraph is. I love that I could create this like reading challenge and use it like for the readathon, so that way you guys can do it. And I just really love like the whole interface system much better than Goodreads. So you can check out that video here if you want to check out like why I switched and how I switched over, because it imported all of my Goodreads books over for me. I didn't have to do any of the work, which was great. But I'll show you guys how to add like your books like to each prompt on the actual desktop website and then also through mobile. So this is the Backlist Readathon. on the StoryGraph, you can see that I've joined, so make sure that you join as well in order to add the prompts. In order for me to add a book to the prompt without marking it as complete yet, you can go ahead and type in the book that you are searching for. Go ahead and search that, and you can click on the actual title of the book. That brings you to the page, and if you scroll down all the way to the bottom, as long as you already have joined the Backlist Readathon, it will show that you can add that to your reading challenges. Click that and it will take you to the prompt page, so you can see all of our prompts and you can mark which prompts you want this book to fall under. Now hit Save Changes. I'm adding this to the Own Voices one, and this will now be added. So if we go back to our reading challenges, you can see that I have 0 prompts completed out of 5, but if you click on the Backlist Readathon again and scroll down to the bottom, even though I haven't completed any of the books, you can see that I actually added a book to that prompt. So it knows that I haven't completed this, I haven't read this book for the prompt, but this is a great way for you guys to organize your books that are on your TBR and figure out which ones you want to add to each prompt before the Backlist Readathon gets started. Okay, now to add books to the StoryGraph, if you're on the desktop website, you just go to StoryGraph.com. At the top, click on Reading Challenges, and if you've already joined the Backlist Readathon, it will be there for you to click. If you haven't joined it, I will have a link down below with the actual link to it so you can easily join. From there, you can scroll through the challenge prompts. You can see that I actually started adding ones to mine. But if you would like to add books to the prompts, you just type in the search bar the book that you are wanting to add, click on that book, and you can add it to your to-read list, or maybe it's already on your to-read list. And then you're just going to scroll down to the bottom and it will say add it to your reading challenges, and you click the reading challenge you want to add it to. It'll bring up all of the prompts and you can check mark however many of them you want to add it to. Click save, and then once you go back into the reading challenges and go to the Backlist Readathon again, it will be saved under that challenge prompt and it is not marked as complete. If you want to mark that as complete after you're done reading it, then you just do that when you're actually finishing the review. You can say that you read it for the reading challenge. Okay, that's it, you guys. I hope that was really helpful and you guys learned how to, add books to that. If you want to join the reading challenge on the StoryGraph, I do have the link down below for you guys, so you can join that and be part of, I think we have like 168 participants right now, which is absolutely amazing. But I'm really excited. I will see you guys in about a week when I start daily vlogs for the Backlist Readathon, and yeah, hopefully it goes well. Let's really hope that I'm gonna have a really good reading week and a really good vlogging week. But I will see you guys there, and I can't wait to see what you guys are reading. Bye everyone.
We've been on and off again and again. I don't know which way we're going, no control. You push me, then you pull me back in. Don't know if I can decide.